So now we have automated the system, yes, but the problem is this seems pretty limited. But actually now we can actually do quite a lot with it. But there's still one problem. Now let's say you want to have many Unity events, like say you want to do something 1 second and then you want to do something 2 seconds later. So what you would generally do, you would add another timer component and then make it 2 seconds. Now this is as good as it is, but actually not quite good practice, or it takes a bit more time now. So what I have actually done is I have gone ahead and made a new script named time event. Now in which you can actually put multiple timer events. Like say I have 4 timer events over here, and then you can see we have a time event on here which you have just seen. Now we can name this time event anything. Let's name this one change text, and then let's name this one fade in. So in here what I can do is I can change the text, say change the text after 1 second, and instead of fade in, let's play audio here. So I'm going to say play audio, and then I'm going to put the time value here for 2 seconds, and then I'm going to play the audio here. I have this alarm sound game object. I'm just going to enable it. The alarm has an audio source with play on wake, so whenever it is enabled it will play audio. And then the change text, let's change the text again. Put the text over here, and text, let's go string text, let's name it like as well. And now on our play audio it will play audio, and then let's fade our screen. Let's not have this Unity event, I guess. Let's remove it. Now I have this fade in game object. If I enable this game object, the screen goes completely black. So if I go game object, select evolve and enable it, I can fade in, and I want to fade in after 3 seconds, so let's put 3 right here. And now to begin with, if I actually hit play right now, you'll see that nothing happens. It's because just like our IEnumerator coroutine, we have to call the script from somewhere. And now we could call the script from either a button, like I have a little button over here named start actions, and I could just simply put our timer event, put the game object that has our timer event, and then click on time event and start timer. Or else you can see that my script has a start timer on start bool. If I enable it and then hit play, you will see that the timer will start on start, and it should, there you go, like as well, and then there you go, the screen is fading. Yeah, pretty cool. But if you want to do it using buttons, then just disable this one and put the on your button, just do this thing as the timer event dot start timer. And if you know a bit about C#, I think you can call this function from any script as well. So yeah, that's that as well. So if I go hit play now, and I have start timer on start off, so I say start actions, so there you go, like as well, and there you go. Oh, I missed one thing, the audio is not being played. Why is that? Oh, because we're not enabling the audio, we're disabling it. So make sure to enable this one. Now the audio will be played as well. Oh, we have to click on the button. There you go, like as well, and the audio is being played. There you are. Now you can say, now these are simple basic stuff. This is pretty easy to do. What if you want to do something more, like say, complicated? Now you can do something more complicated as well by using public functions. Now let me show you a example. Now in here I have this scene change script, which has this public change scene method, which takes an int build index. Now of course you can get the scene change build index right over here. Scene for now I have this 0 sample scene and this scene 02. So on our start action over here, what I want to do is, let's say I have another event. Let's have the 4th event. I'm going to change scene on this event, scene, right? And this, and I want to change on our 4th second. If I want to change the scene, what I'll do is that I have this scene change script, right? So I will put the scene change script in any game object. For my case, let me just put it on the same game object, it doesn't really matter, and then drag and drop the scene change to the plus thing, and then click on the function to scene change to change scene. And then again, the scene I want to change to is called has the build index of 1, so just put 1. And now if I hit play and start actions, you'll see that after the following, I change to another scene, which is a scene 2. Now you may say that's not scene 2, I have learned something else, but very good. This is what is scene 2. It's just scene 2. So yeah, so this is how you can create by using this script you can create quite a complicated system. Now if I didn't have to make YouTube tutorial short, I would go about explaining this script, but I think if I do that, the video will be 15 more minutes long. So yeah, I think I'm going to quit over here. So let me know if this thing helps, and if this thing didn't help, okay, you can just go ahead and follow the like say previous portion of the game, previous portion where I just print the thing, and you can just write down your code, which is okay as well. So yeah, I think this is going to be it. Thanks for watching. I'll be seeing you guys very soon.